For today's creature feature, we come to the cross streets of East Bay and Broad Street. Welcome to Charleston, South Carolina. And now on the opposite corner of East Bay and Broad Street, right here, the old Exchange Building. This is an old dungeon from the time of the Revolutionary War. You can actually take a tour here. This is considered Charleston's most historic building. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tampa J. Although the Exchange Building is high up on my list, I will not be featuring that today. It opens up a little later. It's a little early in the morning. What I'm going to show you today are haunted buildings, haunted places, not just buildings, graveyards. We'll see when we get there. But all of these things I'm showing you today, these places are on the national list of historic places. Charleston, Savannah, and St. Augustine. Had a nice weekend here, went to the Spooky Empire Convention, starting here in Charleston. Got to be home at work tomorrow very early in Tampa at 7 a.m. I thought this would be cool. Roadside, haunted, creature feature. That's actually 3. All right, let's get going. We got a lot to see right here in Charleston right off the bat. There's much ahead. And I had to go back to my car over here. Free parking on Sundays, by the way, in downtown Charleston. I forgot my ghost meter, my very important tool for conducting some paranormal, somewhat experiments. I'm not an expert, but I know EVP, supernatural EVP, is a good sign of ghosts. So I gotta go get that out of the car. Check that out. Horse and buggy tour. This bar is really cool. It says on the window it was built in 1686, and it really looks it. All right, so I just turned here on Church Street, heading this way. First stop will be Heyward-Washington House on the national list of historic places, and it's haunted. And here we are, 87 Church Street, this beautiful and historic brick building on the national list of historic places. This is the Heyward-Washington House. Let's talk about John Heyward. John Heyward lived here in 1805. He went out on a hunting day, or a hunting, should I say, he went out on a hunt, and John accidentally mortally wounded himself. His gun went off and it struck him. The bullet struck him in the jugular, mortally wounding him. That's a terrible way to go. And it is said that John's ghost still haunts the Heyward-Washington House. His ghost has been seen inside the library inside this home. It's a historic museum. It's actually open weekly, Monday through Friday, and it is open today, but it is Sunday. It's not open till noon today. We could go inside and see the library itself. This is our first stop early in the morning. Very creepy story, and I bet you're wondering why it's called Heyward-Washington House. And this is the other cool history with this place. Check this out. During his visit to Charleston, May 1791, the guest of the citizens, President George Washington, was entertained in this house. This memorial, erected by a daughter of the American Revolution, a charter member, Mrs. Edward Willis, made 1901. So Washington was staying in this house since 1791 as President of the United States. That's pretty cool. Cool that they named it after him too, of course. You got to. America's first president. Here's the front door. Check out the door knocker. That is so creepy. I'm sure James, this looks like the original door. I'm sure James touched that himself. Here's a picture of the inside, and I believe this is the actual library right there. It's cool that they have the photo. This is where James's ghost has been seen. Looks like the hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, 12 to 5 Sunday. Tickets, 15 bucks. And this is part of the Charleston Museum Tour. There's a lot of historic places to do with the Revolutionary War as well. And I'm just checking the door, see if we get any readings. That knocker's so cool, isn't it? Reminds me of A Christmas Story. Marley's face on the knocker. I love that ghost story. And we're on to the next location. I'm gonna do a few spots here in Charleston. Thought I saw something back there. Then we're gonna head down to Savannah, making our way south. I wish I could stay all day here. It's beautiful. I will return to Charleston for sure. We will be back. And cutting through St. Michael's alleyway. Beautiful, quiet streets. Gas lamp district. And this haunting architecture really sets the vibe of downtown Charleston. Down here to the left, behind this building that's currently under renovation, you can kind of make out the flags. We're heading to Charleston's historic and haunted City Hall. Oh no, bus. You're gonna block the view. Now we'll get a little closer. It's a beautiful building, right? Very colonial, very old. At the corner of Meeting Street and Broad Street, the former historic City Hall of Charleston. Now this is haunted by a ghost, a general from the Civil War, Confederate General Pierre Gustave de Beauregard, the famous Confederate general who was known for his ethical standards. I guess he was known to arrest citizens for whatever crime they committed here in the streets of Charleston, and he would drag them down to the courthouse, this courthouse right here, and demand justice. So basically he was Judge Dredd. That's what I read. It is said that he haunts this courthouse today, the footsteps of the building precisely. We're gonna walk over there and check it out. It's a beautiful building. This is right across from St. Michael's Church. Look at this. That's a big church. This is the south side of Old City Hall. Beautiful architecture. Look at the marble steps all the way to the top, both sides. There is some history over here. This building designed by Gabriel Manigault and built in 1801 for the Charleston branch of the First Bank of the United States. Stand upon this site, which was set apart as a marketplace in 1672 and used for the purpose until 1796, when the old beef market, as the place was then known, was destroyed by fire. Purchased by the city in 1818, and it has been occupied as the City Hall since that time. So this is still Charleston City Hall. It's so beautiful too. Look at this. Oh yeah, this is cool. This is public property. It is a Sunday though. I don't know if City Hall is open on a Sunday. This is second level. Take a peek in there. General Beauregard. We have committed many of crimes, sir. I'm pretending. I heard you don't like that. General Beauregard, we call you to the front steps of City Hall. We call you to the front steps of City Hall. Hello, we come in peace. And off to the side of City Hall over here, there's actually a park, a courtyard that you can enter. You can see more of the building in here. Not a very large building, but a very... And here's the side of City Hall. Look at this. Henry Timrod. A monument. Born in Charleston, South Carolina, December 8th, 1829. Died in Columbia, South Carolina, October 6th, 1867. And Mr. Timrod here was a well-known poet. On the back side of this monument, some of his words. Sleep sweetly in your humble graves, sleep martyrs of a fallen cause, though yet no marble column graves the pilgrim here to pause. And a couple years ago, my first time in Charleston, Chris the girl and I took the boat tour out to Fort Sumter, where the Civil War began. This is a centennial monument placed here on April 12, 1961 to commemorate that battle. Also, you've got the Battle of Manassas represented, Fort Sumter, and the Battery Wagner. Just a memorial here behind City Hall as well, erected to that. Reminds me a little bit of the Washington Monument. And I was about to leave, but I gotta show you this. I just saw this. This is a monument to George Washington. There's George Washington up there in the shadows with the South Carolina palm in the background. We'll get a little closer. It talks about Washington's return to Charleston in 1791, and we know where he stayed, or where he was entertained, as the sign said. In 1881, on the 100th anniversary of General Cornwall's surrender to General Washington at Yorktown, the city of Charleston renamed its first public park Washington Square. Now you know where we're at. In honor of George Washington, More than 100 years later, and in the request of Charleston Mayor Joseph P. Riley Jr., William C. Westmoreland chaired a committee of fellow Charlestons to raise the funds to erect a statue of George Washington in the park that bears his name. April 30th, 1789. April 30th is my birthday. That was when George Washington was inaugurated in New York City. Been to that spot, shared that in the video a few times. Good to see you, Washington. All right, I swear we're gonna leave this place. I love history. Right here on the far side of Washington Park. I was about ready to leave. There's a statue right there. I promise I'm getting out of here. In memory of Elizabeth Hutchinson Jackson, mother of Andrew Jackson, President of the U.S., 1829-1837, who gave her life in the cause of independence while nursing revolutionary soldiers in Charlestown, is buried in Charleston. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know she lost her life during the Revolutionary War. Cobblestone roads last a lot longer in the South, for sure. Chalmers and Church Street. We're actually going to take a left here on Church Street. We're back on Church Street. Wow, look at that straight ahead. Another beautiful historic church. So down here on the right, actually, I think that might be where we're going. Somewhere in that vicinity. Towards the church on Church Street. Now at the corner of Queen and Church Street. Look at the light hitting that. That is so beautiful. And this is St. Philip's Church. A beautiful church. It is said that the graveyard, St. Philip's Church Cemetery, is one of the most haunted places in all of Charleston. This is the St. Philip's Church office right here. This old building painted just like the church down the street. And sure enough, right here before the church, in between the office and the church, a sign, beyond the cemetery fence. It is a National Historic Landmark. And right here are the gates of the graveyard. We're gonna enter here, known to be haunted. We come in peace. There's some historic information right here on the side, on the sign inside the gate. Here in the churchyard of St. Philip's are buried Charles Pinckney, 1757 and 1824 through 1824, signer of the United States Constitution and author of the famous Pinckney Draw, Governor of South Carolina, U.S. Senator and Congressman, Minister to Spain. Also buried here, Edward Rutledge, signer of the Declaration of Independence, delegate to the First and Second Continental Congress. That's very significant, really cool. And I've come here to check out a ghost story. There is a ghost they call the Gray Man. This is beautiful, very old. One of the first colonies in the South here in America, South Carolina, all the way back to the late 1600s. There's barrels in here from the early 1700s. This is beautiful. So the ghost story inside of the cemetery, the Gray Man, the ghost of the Gray Man, he is seen leaning up against several of these tombstones. He's been seen. The story goes that he's the ghost of a former slave by the name of Boney. And Boney was a caretaker here for the church. And Boney was actually a hero because the church caught on fire. And Boney actually climbed up and helped put out the fire. He put out the shingles caught on fire. And he climbed up with a bucket of water and put them out. And the church is still standing here today. So it is said, people over the years have identified the ghost of the Gray Man as that gentleman. This is a very cool cemetery. Burials everywhere, even on the sidewalk. Reminds me of the cemetery we just visited in Baltimore, the resting place of Edgar Allan Poe. Similar. This one's a lot nicer though, very well kept. There's even tombstones along the back wall. Look at that. I think they're buried right under the church. Reverend F. Marion Hall. Born November 5th, 1841, died 1869. See if we get anything, see if we see anything. Perhaps the ghost of the Gray Man. If you hear anything, if you're listening to this video, watching it, I don't always catch it in the editing room. Sometimes supernatural things happen. People are really good about catching them and putting them down in the comment section. We've caught voices, we've caught just phenomenons in windows. People have commented, like up there I see like a shadow that's like freaking me out. Just to give an example, never feel like you didn't see something, because most of the time I go back and watch and they're correct. There's something there unexplained. Boney, are you here? Boney, we've come to say hello. Thank you for your service out here, sir. Just a really peaceful cemetery. One of the most beautiful cemeteries I've ever been into. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. There's the back side of the church. And it says right here on the sign, established in 1680, so there are burials in here from the 1600s. And I didn't realize there's another cemetery. This is the same cemetery, just across the street. Look at that. Here's the front side. So beautiful. There is an event going on here today, probably church. It is Sunday, if I had to guess. These beautiful trees here before the pathway. So cemetery all the way around the church and across the street. This is one of the most beautiful cemeteries I've ever seen. St. Philip's Church. Look at this Celtic cross here. William Alexander Gary, Bishop in the Church of God. That's really pretty. Yeah, look at that. It's a beautiful headstone. A lot of good ones in here. All right, I'm gonna really get going now. And just on my route here, I saw a lot of things I want to see. I will return. I gotta get going. Got a lot to see today. I'm gonna get home in Florida tonight, very late. Here we come, Georgia. So earlier I was walking by this church. Beautiful church. I was over on the sidewalk. People were coming out. There was a lady that looked at my shirt and she goes, "It's not Halloween yet." I didn't even look at her. I was just kind of passing her by and I go, "It's always Halloween to me." 7th Ink. Love this shirt. All right, before I was heading out, I saw that this tavern opened up, the one we showed in the beginning of the video. I got some coffee and a water. This is the oldest liquor store in the United States. Tavern, wine spirits established 1686. It's a really cool store in there, by the way. They don't just sell alcohol, they sell all kinds of stuff. Really pretty. Yeah, oldest liquor store in the United States. Really cool. I didn't get liquor though. Starbucks and LaCroix. 2 hours and 7 minutes to Savannah, Georgia. 108 miles. Here we go. Really like Charleston. Can't say that enough. And now on foot in Savannah. Look at that. Only a 2-hour drive. This is Broughton Avenue right here. Actually Broughton Street. Right down there, past it on the way in. Busy area. Last time we were here, we stayed at the historic and haunted Marshall House. Couple blocks that way. We stayed 2 evenings there. That was the first time we used the ghost meter. We also did a lot of ghost stuff. Visited the Grave Face Museum. Did a ghost tour. Very cool haunting city. Savannah, Charleston, Savannah, St. Augustine, very close to each other. I'll put a link to those videos so you can check out that stuff after the video. I'm gonna hit up just one historic haunted place here in Savannah. It's just shy of 2 p.m. I gotta get going, but this is something I didn't get to see last time that was high up on my list, and it's just a couple blocks from here. I parked over here. Gonna walk through this historic square. This is Washington Square. Oh wow, I didn't do that on purpose. From one Washington Square to the next. And this Washington Square, not named after the president, but the Washington Fire Company, number 9. At the corner of Bryan and Broad Street, right across here. Wow, this is it. Welcome to the Pirate House Restaurant of Savannah, Georgia, on the National Landmark list here in America. Very haunted. And I'm very hungry. So you see what I did here? One stop in Savannah, and we're getting food, and we're talking about a ghost of a pirate. Arr! You can definitely see the age of this place, very old. Right here on the porch, a sign, the old Pirates House, associated with Savannah's maritime history and Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. Now there's a classic right there. Built in 1754, visitors welcome. You can see the age right here in the brick. These homes, not a part of it. It looks like it might be a part of it. This is the main house over here. It is now the Pirate House restaurant. It's a really cool sign hanging here. So yeah, we're gonna go inside, take a look, show you everything that's going on here. It is a roadside attraction, definitely qualifies. Talk about the ghosts. So, infamous pirate, or famous pirate, however you look at it, John Lafitte once called this home. And if you know anything about John Lafitte, you're probably thinking about New Orleans, the Battle of 1812, The Buccaneer, good old movie about John Lafitte. John Lafitte's House bar in New Orleans. Always wanted to go there. First time I go there, I'll probably go there. Shout out to Nola Deach, my friend on YouTube. John Lafitte does not haunt this place. This is haunted by the ghost of another pirate. His name was Darby McGraw. Now you may have heard this story before and you didn't know where it got its origins. Darby was actually on his deathbed inside here, and as he was dying he kept asking for more rum. They would ask him how he was doing, he'd just say, more rum, more rum. And he died right here in this house. And it is said that his spirit has been seen. Now they have identified him as a spirit because Darby, Mr. McGraw, Mr. Pirate, had a very identifiable scar on his face. He was scarred. And so the ghost, the apparition that has appeared to people over these last couple hundred years, has a scar on his face. Ooh. And they also discovered a tunnel underneath this pirate museum when they were doing renovations of a tunnel, a secret passageway that led down to the port, a pirate tunnel. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that today. We're going to go in there. Maybe there's some haunted history on the walls. Definitely going to get some food. I'm really hungry. But maybe we'll get down and see the tunnel, if it's still there. I'm sure it is. We're about to find out. I'm so excited about this. I've been wanting to come here. And they've got the pirate flags flying right here. This is a big place. I'm only assuming that this part was additioned and this is the original house. I see a bunch of folks right there. Okay, check this out. Spotted a ghost in the window. Oh, look at that. Hold on. You know who this is, right? You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one. All right, you guys ready? Finally going inside. Haunts all. All right, I made it inside the Pirate House restaurant. Check this out right here on the wall. Herbert S. Traub, founder of the Pirates House, 1917 to 2008. He's standing right in front of the house. So the newer part of the restaurant is back here. This is like the bar area. This is the area I showed you towards the back. Cool pirate sculpture here. The actual original Pirate House is over here to the right. And look, they have t-shirts and an upstairs. Pirates House established in 1753. I really like that one there. I'll have to check it all out. They've got all kinds of souvenirs for sale in here. A lot of pirate stuff. A little bit of history on the walls right here where the host table is. Some old photos. Oh wow. Look what was right behind here. That's incredible. So there's the house a long time ago. I have to say early 1900s. Here you go. Some more history. Savannah River Street by moonlight. Oh, we've definitely been past these buildings. That's over River Street, famous River Street, where the Grave Face Museum is. It's not too far from here. There's the Santa Barbara. Oh my gosh, I just found the loot. Have you ever seen so many dum-dums? That's amazing. I'll be getting one of those on the way out. So here's a map of the actual house. This is a big place. A lot of stuff to do here. Buccaneer room, galley, which is the kitchen, the garden room, tavern room, Hall of Fame, Pirates Alley, and we are right here. right on the corner, so this restaurant is gigantic. All right, I heard someone express that this place was like a maze. I can tell you it's already amazing. Okay, so I found the entrance to the tunnel, and look at this. Hold on, I'll show you this in a minute. But it's by the fried chicken. Little did I know this was a buffet. And they have quiche on here. Yeah, so this is over in the corner. Check this out. This is a really neat place. Looks like, oh yeah. So this goes down to the tunnel that I was talking about. It says, this eerie underground chamber with ancient walls of handmade brick, the mysterious arch tunnel entrance, now sealed for safety reasons, were uncovered by workmen in November 1962 during renovation of the restaurant. When it was constructed, by whom and for what reason are still unknown. Could it have been used to hide pirate treasure? Maybe dum-dums? I'm adding that. Could it be an entrance to more secret passages? Still undiscovered. Could it have been part of a dark dungeon? What do you think? I think it's a secret. I think it's a secret tunnel. Perhaps, you know, the pirates trying to get away. Built by the pirates. That'd be my guess. Or maybe it's a lot newer. Maybe it's like a prohibition tunnel. That's really cool. This is right smack dab in the middle of the restaurant by the buffet. And it's very cool because all the servers in here are dressed like pirates. All right, so there's a tour going on here. And they just said this was known as the oldest house in Georgia, just this portion right here. All right, so this is the far wall. So right here, boxed in, the oldest house in Georgia. Thank you. I give credit to you. You're the one that said it.
Well, I must say, since you're pointing this cannon at me, it's not the first time a pirate's had a cannon pointed in there.
Sorry about that. I'll put that away. It says here the old pirate's house first opened in 1753 as an inn for seafarers and fast became a meeting point for bloodthirsty pirates and sailors from the seven seas. Here seamen drank and discoursed sailor fashion on the exotic high seas adventures from Singapore to Bombay and from London to Port Side. All right, so this is the furthest outer wall formerly of the pirate's house. That's the restaurant in here. There's booths all the way around it. So they kind of merged several different houses, including the oldest house in Georgia that's behind me across the buffet. If you look down here, here's the cellar and an old set of steps. Check this gate out. Now this used to be outside, but this was the cellar entrance down to the tunnels. And inside this home is where the ghost of Pirate McGraw is. Scarface. Somewhere in this house. According to legend, this stairway at one time led to the entrance of the tunnel, which ran from the old rum cellar beneath the pirate's house to the banks of the Savannah River a short block away. 'Tis said that many able-bodied men drinking of carefree abandon and want is now our captain's room, were carried drugged and unconscious through the tunnel to sailing ships anchored in the harbor and were strangled by short-handed ships masters to complete their cruise. Okay, so a lot of sketchy stuff going on in the basement of the pirate house. This is the far north window or south window. Pirate McGraw, are you here? Are you down there? Ooh, I'll let you know if I get a reading. All right, I am now in the original house right here. This is the server station up here. There's a lot of people eating. There's the front windows, the front chamber of the house. This place is really like a maze. It's amazing. Here's another room over here. No one in this room currently. It's a really nice restaurant. The food smells great. I'm gonna have to sit down. I might just sit down at the bar because I'm in a hurry. All right, I am now in the captain's room. This is the front room. A lot of tables in here. Here's the fireplace. This is also where the pirate ghost has been seen. This is really old, 1700s. All right, now going upstairs. This is where the gift shop is, and it really opens up here. Look at this. Arr, hello. Are you Pirate McGraw? Are you? I don't know, it kind of looks like Blackbeard. What do you think? This reminds me of Florida, not too far. Good old gift shop. Lots of trinkets, lots of t-shirts. Some with some really cool graphics. Like, look at that. I like that one. All right, we get some food. Maybe some rum. Nah, I'm driving. So I'm currently 2 hours and 45 minutes from St. Augustine. I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. I think I'm gonna go with the lunch special. Fish and chips. Why not? Arr, Darby McGraw. Would you like to join me at the bar, sir, for some more rum? Darby, have a seat right here, Darby. I'll buy you a round of rum. Long drive ahead. No rum for me. Nice sweet tea though. They got really good sweet tea in Georgia. We know that. And my fish and chips have arrived. I'm gonna eat this really quick. As you can see, my fish and chips have arrived. We're still waiting on Mr. McGraw. Rum. Give me some rum. It's 2087, not too bad. The Pirate House. Come check him out. All right, folks, I gotta get going. I'm gonna get into St. Augustine about 5 o'clock in the evening, actually, afterwards. Really enjoyed this stop. John Lafitte's old house, the Haunted Pirate House Restaurant. Come check him out. Arr. Honestly, I think my favorite thing at the Pirate House is this tea. It's really good. Got the half and half, and it's still pretty sweet. We are in Georgia. 181 miles. I will get to St. Augustine about 6 p.m. And here we are, back in Florida. My GPS says we are 69 miles till the first stop in St. Augustine. Need a little pit stop. Back on the road now. And at precisely 6 p.m., we enter America's oldest city. I've spent so much time here in St. Augustine. Out of the 3 cities we've been to today, spent more time here than any of the other 2. But we're gonna change that. My goal today was to see places I've never seen before, also never shown before. It's kind of hard to do that in St. Augustine, but there's stuff I haven't filmed before. We're gonna go check out a couple spots. This might become a new series. I just thought about it a few minutes ago. I could do this so many times and never go to the same place, showing all these historic landmarks that are haunted. These 3 cities are full of ghosts. So yeah, consider this a new series. Don't know when I'll do it again, but it will happen. And do you hear the eerie music coming from behind? They're renovated, currently being renovated. Flagler College, the Ponce de Leon Hotel. Talked about this a few times. My brother graduated here. Definitely haunted, and I've told that story a few times. We're not going to tell that story today. I'm going to do something different. I got very lucky with parking just south of the corner of Charlotte Street and St. Francis Street. Check this out. More so like an alleyway. That's a free spot right there. It's a beautiful home. Look at this. Do you hear the cicadas? I don't know if that house is haunted, but definitely looks like it. The day the earth stood still. Look at this. Only church bells and cicadas in the background. Got this whole street to myself. Alright, there's a car coming now that way. Oh man, for a second there. And if I didn't have such a late night last night, went to a movie premiere, Spooky Empire convention, Charleston. I got to bed almost at 2 a.m. I could have got up earlier and perhaps hustled a little more and made it. Looks like everything closes at 5 here in St. Augustine. But that's okay. We can still talk about the oldest house in the oldest city in America. We've got signs out here too, and I've got the ghost story for you. This is also a stop for the Old Town Trolley. Check this out. This is very haunting. Nice garden there. I've never been inside here, just past it. I know Chris the girl's been here, my fiance. There's this sign down here. So this is the Gonzalez-Alvarez House, the oldest house. For more than 3 centuries, this site has been occupied by St. Augustinians beginning about 1650. A succession of thatched wooden structures were their homes. This coquina stone house was built soon after the English burned St. Augustine in 1702, and originally was a 1-story rectangle with 2 rooms. As times changed during the Spanish, British, and American occupations, a wooden second story of an off-street and an off-street porch, and other features were added. So right here, preserved by St. Augustine Historical Society since 1918, this house became a registered national landmark in 1970. Ye old is house. Gonna walk around it, take a peek in the window. You might see a ghost. Ooh, thought I saw something right there. And this is the second cool knocker of the day. I don't know which one was creepier. The Heyward house or that one? I'm gonna say the Heyward house. That's not to knock you. Ooh, pun not intended, but intended. All right, peeking in the window, it looks like this portion of the house is off limits, maybe like the back area, because there's just like a shop back here. And so this is known to be haunted. The story goes that this house has no electricity. It never did. But people have seen lights moving in the windows at night right here from the street. They've seen lights go on, and people who walk by and don't know, they will think that, hey, there's a light on in that house. But if you've ever taken the tour here, they tell you there is no electricity in this house. So unexplained lights. And also there's a story of someone that brought a small dog in here, specifically a poodle, and the poodle saw something, and I guess this poodle was well behaved. I guess it was known to be, because it started acting out erratically and shaking and barking. There's a room inside the house that used to belong to a woman named Maria. Maria's room. That's the room where stuff becomes rearranged. They find like little girls' dresses and toys and whatnot. Each time they come in the room, things have moved. That's one of the other ghost stories. This is a national registered historic place, of course, it being technically the oldest house in the city in America and the oldest city in America. So I wanted to make sure to throw this in this first episode of this new series. So we know there's no electricity inside the oldest house in America. So we know that there's no electricity inside the oldest house in America. Sometime I'll come and take the tour so we can take this in here. And also I just want to take the tour. I want to see what's going on here. I can't believe how many times I've been to St. Augustine and I've never been into the oldest house. I mean, I could have and I just forgot. I definitely walked by here, but I'll definitely come back sometime, take the tour. Here's the courtyard. Oh wow, that's really pretty. Yeah, I know Chris the girl's been here. Such a pretty garden back there. Doesn't feel haunted, but you never know. Those are the stories. Believe it or not. No, that's another place in St. Augustine. The oldest house right there. These are the historic St. Francis Barracks. This is the headquarters for the Florida National Guard. This is owned by the military, this property. Got the Florida flag going there. You got Old Glory. So my next stop is a place I've never been to before. I just heard of this story, and it's on the north side of St. Augustine. So I'm gonna have to walk back to my car and drive to it. Just wanted to point out real quick, that house right there is for sale. I hate to look up the price. I'm just gonna pretend I can afford it in my head. I'm sure it's haunted. It looks haunted. We did a full weekend trip here for my birthday in 2023. You might remember it. Several videos made here. We did a ghost tour. We toured the San Marcos Fort, which is haunted. Told those stories before. I'll get back to that. I'll put that in this series at some point. But like I said, I want to go someplace or places I've never been before and tell stories I've never told before. We are here. We're actually going to go up here past the Castillo. We're going to be in the Abbott Track Historic District. And guess what? We're going to the Abbott Mansion. And it is really haunted. Lots of memories here in St. Augustine, specifically with my family, now with Chris the girl. Always love coming here. Such a beautiful city. Castillo de San Marcos, straight ahead. Beautiful. Closed for the evening, but you can get pretty close. You can walk up, take pictures and whatnot, go inside. Love the old fort. This is getting me in the mood for Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. They built a replica inside one of their haunts this season. I don't know if you caught that video. I'm so stoked to walk through that. I'm thinking of a ghost story right now. The phantom scene, top of the wall. So pretty. Been in there a few times. All right, so right up here to the right, we're almost to the Abbott district. There's the main gates of St. Augustine. Also haunted. And look at this haunted house. Ooh. All right, this is literally right behind Ripley's, believe it or not. That is considered the Abbott district. And this is the Abbott Mansion. I think I can pull off over here. It's a very narrow street. Look at that. It says right there on the front door, Old Mansion. Ooh, something's going on here. There's a letter on the door. Yeah, let me get out, see if I can take a look. All right, so I found parking right there at the corner of Osceola Street and Joyner Street. Look at that house over there. That's haunting. This is less than a 2-minute walk to the Ripley's Museum. Down the street, take a left. It's like, oh, you can see it right there. Backside of the Ripley's Museum. Done a video there. So this mansion is right over here. This has to be my favorite. Just looking at it, just how cool it looks. Just my favorite stop of the day. Really beautiful. Now it looks like it's abandoned, but to me it looks like they're fixing it up. The windows are blocked out, the door, there's a note on the door. This is the Abbott Mansion. I'm gonna read a little bit about the history and tell you the ghost stories. I'm gonna take a look first. We've got these agave just growing on the sidewalk here. Got the horse here. This is Old Mansion. Lights are on in there, it's got power. Check out these old gates. It's just very haunting. It looks like the haunted mansion. So there are many stories for the last 4 decades coming from the old mansion. I guess this was turned into an apartment building, and it looks like right now, I don't think there's any tenants staying here, but at once, and perhaps again, it was an apartment building. And many of the tenants claim they saw a ghost of a very plump woman, an old-fashioned dress. Her name, the ghost, is Miss Lucy, and they thought her to be a member of the original Abbott family who built this house in the 1870s. So this house was built in the 1870s. And there's one last ghost that haunts this mansion. They call him the Captain because he has been seen in seaman garb. He's a sailor. The plump woman and the sailor haunts this place. And that's all I really know. Just read that briefly somewhere online. So I've been to a lot of ghost tours in St. Augustine. I wouldn't say a lot, but a few. But I haven't been to one that's yet came by this mansion. I have not done the trolley tours. Maybe the trolley tours comes by here. But this was a ghost story I've never heard before. This house is confirmed to be haunted. All I could find was on Flickr.com. Warren LeMay wrote, constructed circa 1872 by Lucy Abbott, a spinster from North Carolina. This house was originally constructed in the Second Empire style and featured a mansard roof on the 3rd floor. 1921, the house was heavily modified. So thanks to that article, that's all we know. We've got ghost stories from former tenants about a plump woman, a sea captain, and that this house was built circa 1872. It is known to be haunted, and it was put on the National Register of Historical Places and Historic Places. Historic. I think you could say either one. It was placed on that list in 1983. What a fantastic time I just had. That was a lot of miles. We were able to do 2 places here, 1 place in Savannah, and 3 places in Charleston. I will do this again, and each time I will show you different places. I don't think I'm ever going to run out of haunted places within these 3 cities. Thought I heard something. I hope you enjoyed it. that's all the history I know or could find online of each of the places. If you'd like to add something, please feel free to drop it in my comment section. I love that. That's what this is all about. I've learned so much from you guys over the years. A lot of times I'm just, you know, I'm just simply firing up the camera. This isn't the history channel. I try to do as much research as I can with the time I am granted. But most of the time, the most fun thing for me is to go into new places and learning stuff. Whether it's right there in the reel or later in the comment section. This is my channel. I'm just a dude that loves history, and I like throwing it out there in the universe. Let's learn together, right? Haunt was on today. Real life creature feature stuff. I really love this house. So beautiful, so haunting. And the wind picked up. The Abbott Mansion. Hopefully one day we can go inside there when they restore it. It just looks so creepy. Overgrown. Really looks like a haunted house. Old mansion. The haunted mansion of St. Augustine. One of like 100, right? Really? But this one's actually called Mansion. It is 6:59 p.m. and I'm 3 hours from home. I'm gonna wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the tour. If it was your first time here, please feel free to subscribe below. Give the video a thumbs up. Come on back, saying all the things here at the end to you guys. Appreciate you for watching. We'll see you very soon. The Halloween season is upon us, and it starts this week. Are you guys ready? I'm so pumped. I can't believe it's finally here. We'll see you later. See you real soon. I also have to stop and make a Buc-ee's run in Daytona. Gonna get some snacks for myself and Chris the girl. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, what you're going through, just know that there's always much ahead for you, my friend.